Hey, what's up, my beautiful people? It's your boy Devo, some motivational, back with another day trading spy recap. Real quick, as always, I want to say thank you all for all the likes, comments, subscribes. Thank you everyone who's sticking with me through the journey. This is a journey, road from unprofitable to profitable, and we're getting there every single day. And I appreciate every single one of y'all sticking with me. And let's get straight into it, okay? So today we have a good one. I know it's been a while since I've actually made a trade recap. It was Friday. Reason why I didn't do it on Friday, wasn't feeling the best. Why? Because I ended up losing $300 um, on what? I took two trades, right? I don't remember them all, so I'm just gonna go over the little like recap. I took two trades. My first two were losers of like 220 bucks, right? My third trade was a winner, was up over 260 bucks, and I didn't take my profits. And the market came up and stopped me out for a loss, and that put me minus 67 bucks on the week. And that was very, that was bad on my mental. That just felt horrible. Why didn't I take profits? I'm actually show you guys because I can pretty much find that trade. Um, can I find that trade? Friday. Okay. What was Friday? So today's the 15th, 14th, 13th, 12th, 11th. So the 11th. No, it doesn't look like it was this day though. I don't think it was that day. It was on Friday. And let me grab the cues. I think it maybe was on the cues. It was on the cues, my good people. So this is what happened. So I took my first trade to the downside to take out these lows. Came up, stopped me out. My second trade, I was overextended, right? I was overextended up top. It broke structure. I got in right around here and ended up coming back down and stopped me out, right? My third trade. So I got in for a sell. Stop loss actually right there. And I got in at this pullback into this gap. So it was a good stop loss, good tight stop loss. And what did I want? I knew this was a big demand zone, and I was in that trade for three contracts. And through this big downturn, 554 down to 553, that was $1.65 move. So I was up big, 260 bucks, like I said. Didn't end up taking profit. Why? Because we had change of characters, right? We basically created like a relative equal low, right? Broke through all the bullish fair value gaps, right? Broke through all the bullish fair value gaps. And so whenever we broke all the way down, when we gave the pullback to that 5 minute gap, I can go to the 1 minute and it will look better because the 5 minute you can see the gap, and then but on the 1 minute it would look more clean. But I'm just gonna try to run through those quick trades real quick. And so I knew there was a big demand zone right here. I was like, okay, we already had the change of characters. And I was like, if I see a wick, I'm going to take my profit. If I see a nice wick and reaction. And that is exactly what happened. A nice wick and a reaction. And I still was just holding in. And ended up coming all the way against me and being minus 130 something bucks. And that is a rookie mistake. That is honestly the first time that has happened to me since I first started trading. When I first started trading. This is literally the first time that's happened to me, like the first time I started trading. And so that was a learning experience. I mean, I was very frustrated, but then I had to chalk it up to like that was a learning experience, right? But I just wasn't feeling good, and so went from up $301 to minus 67 bucks on the week. Keep that in mind, guys. I had that $426 day on Thursday. That put me up 301 bucks on the week. On Friday, I come in, lost. I was up 60 something bucks on the week. I remember. Then I was making, I'm not gonna say I made because I didn't close out the trade. I was gonna be up over $301. So I was gonna be down down from 301 to 60 something. Then on that trade, if I would have closed it out, I would have shot all the way up to like $350 on the week. Didn't take that, and then so it stopped me out for 130 bucks, and now I'm down 67 bucks on the week. So that was a very frustrating one. So going into this week, going into this week, I was just trying to get my mind right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just trying to get my mind right, and that's pretty much it. Just trying to get my mind right and stay in the game. It was very frustrating on Friday because again we were up $301 on the week. We worked that whole week to get there. At that point, made $426 on Thursday. Biggest trade you guys have seen me on YouTube. Biggest trade you guys have seen me on YouTube by far, probably. Because I've made probably about $250. I think that was my biggest on YouTube, 260. Now it was 426. So I was feeling good on Friday. I didn't over leverage my trades. I took two trades. They were losers for about $100. But then my winner, again, our winners are always bigger than our losers. On that winner, if we would have took our profit, it would have made it all back, and then we would have been positive on the day and pushing us forward even more for the week. And we didn't take our profits. It came up against us, and so yeah. So coming in this week, I was honestly trying to get that money back, and I messed up again yesterday. And I'm gonna show you guys where I messed up yesterday. So yesterday, man. So yesterday was a revenge trade. I know we said we weren't gonna do it again, and we did it again. So, but we are not gonna do it again because this costed us. Yesterday costed us a lot of money, and that's what revenge trade does. Revenge trade costs money, and it cost a lot. Revenge trading is expensive. I had a good idea. I seen everything I wanted to, but I hopped in at the top of the trend. So let me break it down. I want to break this one down actually because I had the good idea. You know, what I mean, it would have been a good trade if my emotions weren't in it. If I just followed the process and everything. So I'm trying to find this trade. So it was on the 14th. It was yesterday. I'm trying to find this trade. Okay, so I can't find that trade, and that's why I like to do the recaps pretty much whenever I have the trade. But yesterday, we made $110 for our first trade. So we were up. We made back last week's loss, and we were up on the week, right? We were feeling good. Took another trade, then we ended up being down minus $22 on the week. Got emotional. Took another trade, 4 contracts. We know that's more than the size I take on usually on my trades I'll take 2 contracts. Sometimes I'll take 3. And I put 4 contracts in. It worked out. The trade ended up working out, but it stopped me out before it worked out. And let me tell you why. Because I wish I could show you where, but I don't see where it was at. So we had a series of equal lows. And again, I do wish I could find this trade. I mean, it was yesterday, but I don't see the setup. I don't see where I took it. Oh, it wasn't up here. I believe it was somewhere right around here because I was targeting these highs. Yes, it was somewhere right around here. I got in somewhere around here. We had equal lows. I remember we had equal lows. I'm just gonna go over it real quick because I don't really remember it. Exactly where I was at. I think it was right here because I was targeting these highs, right? We had equal lows right above me. I had my stop loss at the equal lows. Why? I should have had my stop loss at the bottom of the order block like you have to do. And what it probably do is stopped all those equal lows, hit the order block, and literally shot up and hit the take profit where it would have been. And I got in right around like up here. That's why I was so emotional because I missed my entry, which on the 1 minute, it's like a small gap that I was waiting on, right? Because through the 5 minute, right, we hit that gap, but through the 1 minute, there was a tiny gap. And I'm just going to go through it so I don't want to go. And so I missed that entry. And when it came back down a little bit, I got in like right around here or somewhere right around here. Honestly, actually, I don't even remember. I'm going to stop lying to you guys. It was somewhere. And long story short, I lost 230 bucks. Why? Because I was emotional. I put 4 contracts in, but my trade was right, but I was emotional. So I had my stop loss somewhere it shouldn't even have had, and it stopped me out. And then it went and hit take profits, and that was minus 230 bucks. So now going into today, we were feeling beat. You know what I'm saying? We were feeling hurt, but we knew that we can't revenge trade because that was expensive, and we just had to follow the process, right? So what did we do today? So in the first trade, we actually gapped up. We had a huge gap up today, and we were trying to be patient. Why? Because when the market gaps up this high from 556, it gapped up all the way up to 560. When the market gaps up like that, you have to give it time to create liquidity, do what it wants to do. Like because it don't have no highs, it don't have no lows up here. It doesn't have nothing up here. It's nothing but air, right? So we have to give it a chance to create some liquidity or actually create a strong trend. Come down if it wants to use the previous highs as support or something like that, right? So that's what we're doing. We're being patient, and what did we see? So in this downtrend, a high, low, lower high, and then this is where you kind of double bottomed out. This is where you kind of have a change of character in this downtrend, right? Because you take out these last lower highs. When it pulled back, right, this is where we have this gap. I'm not going to say a fair value gap because actually it is a fair value gap because you broke structure. And boom. Look at this. Doesn't this look beautiful? High, low, lower high, double bottomed, and I knew we had equal lows, but we had this change of character. We had this nice wick on the 5 minute as well as touching this 1 minute gap. The 5 minute you seen the fair value gap, and on this 1 minute, look at this nice touch into it and nice wick up. And I was like, okay, because we were having a little trendy down. I was like, okay, we can come up, sweep all that liquidity, take out these highs, and then maybe reverse for these lows. That was my first trade. I think it was 3 contracts, and I had my stop loss actually short. So I actually had my stop loss not all the way down here. I didn't want to do that. I had my stop loss actually at the bottom of this wick. At the bottom of this wick because I got in like right around here, and I had my stop loss at the bottom of this wick. Boom, came down and stopped me out, minus 60 bucks. 60 bucks isn't bad. I know I can make that back. It's just the only reason I was feeling bad was because I sabotaged myself yesterday. And that is why you guys don't revenge trade. You know what I'm saying? I made a mistake lots of times actually. But most recently was that last one when I lost 400 bucks. And I told you guys I wasn't going to do it again, right? It's been a while. Did it again. I'm not going to do it again. And I plan on not doing it again because the hurt you feel after feeling so good and doing so good, the hurt you feel from that, as well as the loss, the big loss, and the hurt you feel, it's just not even worth it to. And keep in mind, I was minus 22 bucks on the week. So today I would have came in, and today I'm just going to spoil it real quick. Today I'm up 130 bucks. So then on the week I would have been up 110 bucks. But instead I revenge trade because I'm mad. I'm down 22 bucks, and now I put myself back in a hole where I have to make all that back. You see what I'm saying? And so that's where you learn from it. You learn from it, and you're gonna grow from it. You're gonna make those mistakes when you're first starting off. I'm still young in the game, but I'm not just starting off. I'm about a year and a half, and I feel like I am turning that corner. I feel like I really got it. I really feel like, not saying I just don't have nothing to learn, but I feel like I really do have it, but I'm making little mistakes that are messing myself up. Still learning some things, like on that one trade, I should have took my profit because I knew it was a big demand zone. I knew it. But I was like, okay, it's already a change of character. I know we're tapping into this gap. That's a huge demand zone. But I was like, we already have the change of character. We're breaking down. I want to see us take out the lows. And that's where I was kind of being greedy, right? Because I already knew, again, I knew it was a big demand zone. Once I seen that react up heavy, I should have knew to take my profits, right? I should have knew to close out the trade. Once I seen that bullish candle engulf my bearish candle that tapped into that gap, I should have knew to take my profits, right? But I was being greedy. I didn't want to cut it, and that backfired. But I can't be too mad at that one because I learned from that, because that hasn't really happened to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just starting off, but I'm still new in the game, young in the game, where I'm still learning stuff. You know what I'm saying? So but these revenge trades, these has to stop, because this is what's going to kill your portfolio. This is what's going to keep me from being profitable, and this is going to keep setting me back like it did this week. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not going to do it again. I'm just not going to do it again. It's too expensive. It's too expensive to revenge trade. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you're emotionally hot like that, because again, it was a revenge trade, but my trade worked out. If I would have had my stop loss in the right place, I would have actually won, and won big money actually, because it was 4 contracts and it moved up a good amount. But again, when you're emotional and you're hot and you're just taking a trade, those can affect you because you're gonna make little mistakes like putting your stop loss in the wrong place. Okay, so that was minus $60. So now we're down $290 in the week. Were we scared to take another trade? And we went to SPY. So we were kind of triggered because we were watching Qs the whole day, and the SPY was giving some beautiful setups. So whenever we went to SPY after that trade, I was like, wait a minute, why wasn't I trading SPY? You know what I'm saying? And what is beautiful? So this is, I would have made so much on this on SPY today, guys. I would have came to you guys and said I was positive on the week, because look at this. We gapped up, right? But we broke through the support. So usually when we gap up above all-time highs, you want to see the support, you want to see the last all-time high hold, or you want to see a breakthrough, and then you want to hunt liquidity, right? Because once we break through those highs and we break through the support, now we're hunting. You know what I'm saying? Now we're moving down. You know what I'm saying? Because either this is going to hold up or we're going to be moving down if we break through. We broke through, gave a bearish fair value gap. We have all these lows lined up, right? All these lows lined up. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to go for them all, but say if we were right there with our stop loss on the top of this wick, boom, we wanted these lows right here. That is a 7-1. And it's such a good entry. Look at that. 5-minute gap, touched the 5-minute, broke through the support. As well as you go to your 1 minute. If you go to your 1 minute, look at this. Boom. Taps that nice fair value gap, right? There's no other fair value gap. This is the highest fair value gap. So beautiful, so clean. And that would have been an absolute payday. And I'm just like, man. And so my second trade I took on the SPY, they were giving us no pullback. So when we broke down right here, right? Excuse me, my good people. So, okay, look at this one. So, we broke structure again to the downside. Let me go to my 5-minute. We broke structure again to the downside. And we created this low. We broke structure again to the downside. Gave a little pullback. Broke back down, right? And when we were breaking down, we created some equal lows. I was like, okay, give me this pullback to this 5-minute fair value gap. And I want to target all of these lows. So I'd have it on here, probably on the top of this order block, or probably on top of this gap. If on my 1 minute, it would be more exact, but on the 5-minute, I'm just putting it right here, just showing you guys where I would have potentially took the trade. It was giving no fair value gap, no pullback to this fair value gap, and I wanted these lows, right? And it didn't give it to me. It never gave the pullback. It ended up breaking through, created relative equal lows again. And that's when we were like, oh my God, like we were feeling frustrated because we're like, okay, now it's just not giving pullbacks. No pullback into this fair value gap and just breaking all the way down, right? So now we're getting frustrated, you know what I'm saying? Because we're down $290 in the week and we're getting no pullbacks and these moves are just taking off without us. So like, okay, we have another big fair value gap, right? Because we broke structure again to the downside. Now we have another big fair value gap as well as we created relative equal lows right here. So we're like, okay, that could be a good setup, you know what I'm saying? We're far down the move, but that is nice. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're feeling like. It's far up the move, but we're far down the move, but we created relative equal lows. We're breaking down with authority. We have a nice fair value gap. This is my strategy. I'm down $290, but this is my strategy, and I have to take it, right? We're towards these equal lows. We created relative equal lows. We have a bearish 5-minute fair value gap. If I scale down to my 1 minute, you guys see this big old fair value gap, and when it pulled back in and it started to break down, I took 3 contract trade in right here, came all the way up, almost stopped me out, came all the way up and literally wicked my stop loss. And this was a stressful one because up here I was down another $160. Up here at my peak I was down another $160. So I would have been down over $400 just this week in 2 days of trading. That is not good. Again, if I did lose this trade and I lost the other trade, that'd be $220. But if I didn't revenge trade yesterday, so then I'd be down $280 on the week. That's not good, but that's way better than down almost 500 bucks. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why revenge trading costs, because that's going to set you back in the game. Ended up working out in my favor, broke all the way down, and we're just holding it till we were seeing till we were seeing it stop. Once it broke down right here, we really wanted these lows to come get hit, but it wicked up hard and it started to fight up, and that's when I took my profit down here, plus 192 bucks. So you guys see, I can win trades, but I sabotaged myself. I set myself back on the revenge trade. On the Friday, again, we just didn't take profits. So Friday was a good day. We had two very good setups. Two very good setups. On the first setup, we just lost the trade. It just didn't go our way. We had the lows right near us. We created relative equal lows. We had a fair value gap, 5 minute, 1 minute fair value gap. It was beautiful. It just ended up stopping us out, not going our way. And so we weren't mad about that one. The second one was overextended, and I knew that up to the upside. We lost that one. But the third one is another beautiful setup, and that one won, and that would have made back all of that loss. And so I know how to trade. I just gotta stop getting in my way. Those are learning things. Like on Friday was like learning, right? Because the take profit and stuff. But like days like yesterday, I just can't do that, because those are rookie mistakes, and those are gonna keep me from being unprofitable. Okay, because then on this trade I made 190 bucks, right? I lost 60 bucks earlier, so now I'm up 130 bucks, 132 to be exact. And keep in mind, if I didn't lose that 230 yesterday, if I just walked away minus 22 bucks, I'd be up 110 bucks on the week. I'd be feeling amazing. I'm still feeling good because I feel like I can know I can make the 100. Now I feel like I know I can make the $100 back, as well as I'm still counting that 67 bucks, because these past about 3 months, these 3 months on my P&L, I'm up. You guys have seen me every week. I've been either break even or I've lost like 40 bucks, but the next week I've made that 40 buck up, and I'll end that week positive still. So it's been win-win week, a break even week, a small minus 50 bucks or 40 bucks, minus last week it was minus 67 bucks, and we were up over $300. And now right now we're minus 100 bucks. So, but we're going to make this week back and next week back in this week, okay? So this week we're going to finish positive, again making back that 100. So we're down 98 bucks on the day, so on the week. So, and we're up 130 bucks on the day, minus 98 bucks on the week. So this week we're gonna make that 98 bucks back. We're gonna make that 67 bucks back from last week. And these 2 weeks together, we're gonna be positive. Okay. So yeah, and then it broke through, and I was like, okay, well, we have this set up for tomorrow because we're towards the equal lows. But later on in the day, it ended up shooting all the way up, and now we have some relative equal highs up here. We have some equal highs up here, which it played around on my stop loss. I really thought I was gonna be stopped out. Why? Because we created like equal highs right here, and it just absolutely started tanking my way, and that was all glory to God, right? So that's why you always gotta obey your stop loss. You don't just be like, oh, I'm about to lose, I might as well get out. No, you always got to obey your stop loss, okay? Because you never know what the market is gonna do. Sometimes it's gonna be trending upwards against you, and then it is gonna stop you. But sometimes it will trend upwards, almost stop you out, and then it will tank your way. So that's why you always obey your stop loss, okay? And this $192, it would have been more, but I was in this trade literally from 10:10 to 11:55. So my contract option started to decay, and it would have been a big payday from 624 down to about 623.10, around there, right? It would have been an even bigger payday if the move happened faster, but my options started to decay a little bit in time. And so up 192 bucks, I can't complain, because I was down 300 bucks on the week, and now I'm down, I was down 290 bucks on the week, and now I'm down 98 bucks on the week. So we can't complain with that, right? And later on in the day, it did end up tanking, but this was at 250, literally 10 minutes before market close. It just kind of dumped. What am I looking at for tomorrow? I am biased tomorrow for a run up, for an actual little pump, a pullback, because we did have such a dump. We are towards these equal lows, so if we see us trending downwards, or because this is a big candle, big 5 minute candle, so those are fair value gaps in that 1 minute. So if I see us kind of look what I'm actually thinking and want to see, I can erase that one, because if it takes out these, it's gonna take out these. So what I can see is we could bounce and use this as support, pull back. We could play around bounce and then maybe like create like a bearish fair value gap, use this fair value gap, then take out these lows. I can see that happening, but at the same time I could see us actually giving a little bit of a relief, a little bit of run up, sweeping out some of these some of this buy side liquidity, or on the upside some of these equal highs and equal highs and stuff like that, because again we did have such a big downtrend. Like it was just straight tanking for the day. So again, I can see a little bit of run up tomorrow. Okay, what news actually caused this? So we had some hot CPI. It wasn't very good. It wasn't bad, but it's just higher than previous. Inflation is going up. It's higher than previously, and so that is not very good because the Fed wants to see inflation down so he can cut rates. And if so inflation is going back up, that's a less likely chance that he's going to cut rates. And I feel like the market is pricing in that he's going to cut rates and that everything's going to be good. But inflation is ticking up in the data. Core inflation month to month 0.2%, previous 0.1%. It's still lower than the consensus. It's as forecasted. Core inflation rate year after year 2.9, higher than the previous 2.8, and it's lower than the consensus. Lower than consensus and as forecast. So it really wasn't as bad. It's just higher than previous. Inflation rate month to month 0.3, consensus and forecast 0.3, previous was 0.1, so higher than previous. Inflation rate year after year 2.7, previous 2.4, consensus 2.7, forecast 2.6. So the numbers, they're all higher than previous, but they're pretty much as forecast and consensus. So they're not outrageous, but inflation is getting a little hotter. So I feel like that is why we are getting a little bit of a dump. Tomorrow we're going to have a big day as well. Why? Because we're going to have PPI. So CPI is consumer price inflation. Tomorrow is going to be PPI, producer price inflation, and that is also going to play a role in the market. Most likely, if the core PPI is up, is higher, most likely the PPI is going to be, most likely if the CPI is higher, the PPI is going to follow and be higher as well. But we're going to wait for the data. Again, even if it comes in hot, I can still see a little bit of a rebound. It could still be a down day tomorrow, but I can see us rebounding before just straight dumping through these lows, because we are towards these lows. We are near these lows. But again, I could see it rebounding before I can actually delete all these. I went over the trades with y'all, so I don't have to keep those. That is really why I keep those there, because when I go over the trades. So now I'd make a, so we broke through all those down levels, right? So now I create levels on the upside. So we have some equal highs up here. I just want to show you guys how I make my levels. We have equal highs up here, right? Not equal highs up here. So if I see us break through here, we also have this fair value gap, right? So on the upside, I want to see us run through these equal highs, run through this fair value gap, give a pullback, and then I'd be targeting these equal highs up here. And potentially I would want to see a reaction off this gap, see if it blows through this gap, then I'll be targeting these highs right here. So this is kind of a little bit what I'm looking for the downside. If we end up breaking down, we have these lows right here, lows, and I do eventually want these lows all the way down here. Boom, boom, and I eventually want all of these lows, right? I feel like they will eventually get taken, and we're just being patient and waiting for them, okay? So tomorrow we are going to have PPI, so tomorrow's going to be a big one. Again, we're down 98 bucks on the week, but way better than where we were. And I make these mistakes so you guys don't. I'm telling you guys, if you are feeling hot and you are feeling like you just want to make your money back and you're just going to take a trade and make your money back, it is best to step away from the market, because you'll end up doing more harm than good. You will end up putting yourself way further back than what you actually are right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still learning that. Well, I've learned that, and I've been through that. And once you keep hitting your head against it and you keep experiencing that pain, eventually you're just going to want to stop. So I hope this is the last time I do it. I'm going to try to make it the last time I do it. It is going to be the last time I do it. And you guys will find out, right? So that is pretty much it. I'm sorry for not uploading on Friday. I didn't do a Monday's watch list on Sunday, and I didn't have a trade recap yesterday. But that was a little bit of what I was going into. Friday, I was mentally not there. Monday, of course, not mentally there. And today, we're feeling better. You know what I'm saying? Usually, you guys know I like to show up after a loss and everything. But when I mess up like that, sometimes all I can do is just just beat myself up over it and know that I messed up. And sometimes I can't even hop on camera after I do something like that, right? So I have to hop on the next day. All right, that's pretty much it. I love every single one of y'all sticking with me on the journey. Remember, let's keep getting better every single day and stay persistent, passionate. Make sure I get paid, all right? Peace.